All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Good to see you all. And thanks for being here. We're live. Excuse me. We're live on YouTube. Rockfin, Colin just got done with a YouTube strike, so we are, going to be careful. If you don't have a Rockfin account, if you don't watch the show on Rockfin, I highly suggest that you do as soon as possible, ASAP. If you, care about watching the show, or, if it's something you like to do, important to you, then make a Rockfin account and get familiar with the Rockfin platform, because we never know when the PTB, the powers that be, will, decide to chop everybody off that they don't like. So we don't, it could just be one day you wake up and there are just no alternative news channels. And that is a very, real possibility. So plan for it, prepare for it, all that kind of good stuff. All right, Poppy, I was trying to make you are a moderator now on Rockfin, and it's weird because I couldn't find you. I was looking through the chats on YouTube to try and find your comments in the chats, and I couldn't find you in several. I went through several YouTubes and I couldn't see you. I don't know. It was very weird. I couldn't see you, but you're in this one. I see you. And I just don't have, I can't do it right now, but after the show I will have a stream on YouTube with a different name. Is the stream on YouTube under a different name? Is that right? I don't even know. That doesn't sound right. I think that I thought I had it was the same name. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can figure that out. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I can always just change it. No, I mean, it looks like it's the same name. So, I don't know. Yeah, I know the usability sometimes of Rockfin can be challenging for some people. But all right, we're here. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so Poppy, I will make you a moderator after the show on YouTube. So everybody, Poppy is now a moderator for both channels. So do what she says. Obviously we're all friends here and it's not a big deal, but just so I don't have to engage with knuckleheads in the chat. So, Poppy will take care of all that, and I'm sure she'll do a great job. All right. Always do what Poppy says. That's a rule. All right. So it is Zero Emissions Day, and who cares? I mean, you would think that we would care, but It's, Zero Emissions Day. It's just another branding opportunity for people to show how much they care. Um, for people to go out there and put their little green stamp on everything. We're going green. It's Zero Emissions Days, guys. We're making progress. Anyways, but that's what it is. It's Zero Emissions Day. So on September 21st, the world comes together to celebrate Zero Emissions Day. Yay! Right. Exactly what is it we are actually doing to save the planet? I don't know. Sure are talking a good game though. And that's all that matters, I guess. The purpose of the day is to provide a preview of what a planet would look like without the release of fossil fuels into the atmosphere. All right, that sounds nice, but how, are we going to actually do that? And they're talking about India specifically, that they're going to cut emissions to net zero by 2070. Well, thank God. Thank God we by 2070 they'll be cutting emissions to net zero, whatever net zero might be. As we can already see, the effects of actual climate change are actually happening in real time. They're caught up to us. There was a long time there where climate change was theoretical, and they were like, in the future, something might happen, and then we did a whole lot of nothing, right? After these scientists said, in the future, a whole lot of things are going to happen. In the face of that, we didn't do anything. We just went in the opposite direction. We said, how about some more of all of the things that you say are going to cause the climate change? How about some more of those things? And then the planet said, well, now we're feeling all of those things. And here's what happens when you don't do anything in the face of those warnings, and you just keep doing everything that you were doing before, but you double those things that you were doing before. And somehow that's a conspiracy. I don't understand. What the conspiracy for what? Conspiracy to ignore the warnings. That's the part that I'm having a hard time figuring out. I know that climate change is supposed to be a big conspiracy, but I'm trying to figure out what for 30 or 40 years, right? They've been warning us about climate change. Well, yes, they've been warning us about climate change. What do we do in the face of that? We doubled everything we were doing. We quadrupled everything we were doing. There's more people consuming more things, destroying more nature every single day, and it's only been going up. Those things, the things that we were supposed to stop doing. So I don't know. Tell me where the conspiracy's at. It sounds like the conspiracy was to ignore the warnings. It sounds like that's what the conspiracy was. And now that we're here, now, legitimately, the conspiracy is that they're going to force everybody to do all the things to take care of the planet. That's the conspiracy, right? And even then, okay, maybe they are, and maybe they're not, but it doesn't seem like they are, because they keep walking back the things that they said that they were going to do. I see a lot of fiddling around the edges. That's about all I see. All right, everybody, could everybody like all the videos that they're watching or the streams that they're listening to? Just please do that, if you can. While you're here, I appreciate it. Maybe there is a conspiracy to take away all your stuff to do something for climate change. Again, I don't really see it. I don't see that working out. They're saying, already Great Britain is like, yeah, maybe we won't stop selling gasoline powered cars by 2035. Maybe not, or until 2035. Yeah, it's fine. I see a lot of just creative accounting, right? The promises come with a series of walkbacks, fudging, hemming and hawing, creative accounting, maybe this, maybe that, maybe somebody will buy some offsets. I don't know, right? Oh, and here's another one, I guess. They told us that 10 years ago we had 10 years to save the planet, and misinterpreting that statement, basically meaning, well, if we don't do anything in this next 10 years, then things will spiral out of control. Here we are spiraling out of control. Here's the point at which we're spiraling out of control. We're spiraling out of control. Here's the point at which the planet starts spiraling out of control because we didn't do anything, not in the last 10 years, but in the last 30 years, we didn't do anything but double all the things that we weren't supposed to do. I feel like I'm just saying a bunch of obvious stuff, but it's okay. Here we are, planet spiraling out of control with the extreme weathers and whatnot. Where was I going with that? I was going somewhere. Who knows? Yeah. So here it is, planet spiraling out of control. Oh, I was saying, yeah, okay, misinterpreting the statement from Greta Thunberg and others. Well, we didn't do anything. Here's the planet spiraling out of control, and now, everybody's trying to point to that as something. Well, they said the planet was supposed to be over as a point of like, gotcha. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess eventually it'll be over, or eventually it's going to be real hard to keep everything going on this planet. And then what? Then I guess something it's still fake. I don't know. Anyway, zero emissions day, whatever. It's just it's another, happy face marketing ploy by people. We're committed to the planet and going green. Meanwhile, we're doing everything, and we're going in the opposite direction. And if you're a climate concerned person, if you're concerned about the planet, the state of the planet, I mean, you should be concerned about the doublespeak in the climate policies that people are putting forth, governments are putting forth, right? I mean, people are concerned about Rishi Sunak going, walking back the commitment to end. You can't win. If you're in the climate movement, you can't win. There's no way to win because nobody's doing anything to really tackle the cause that you're worried about. And it all looks like a bunch of hypocrisy anyways, which makes it even easier for people to go like, this is all just a bunch of bullshit. leading to, again, as I said before, a great confusion before people really get their heads around what's going on. I mean, and it's funny, in that video, they're like, we want to imagine a world without fossil fuels. And all they did was show like smokestacks and burning the fossil, like, I think it's like, you can make an easy meme. Maybe I'll do this. Instead of this, right, and you're showing like highways with electric cars and clean green energy, powered things, you just show a picture of nature with absolutely nothing on it. No people, no homes, no, instead of this is green. This is not green, right? Like just side by side. Very simple. You could maybe even show people living very simple lives, right? Just farming, living off the land, very few possessions, not big mega mansions, not 4 cars in the driveway, not, right? Amish. Okay, let's just go with that simple, we're lowest common denominator example. Amish, and then, show a picture of supposedly, eco-aware, people getting on a EcoJet. I don't know, right? Like, living that urban lifestyle. No. Yes. No. Yes. It's kind of simple. Anyways, let's keep going. Well, Joe Biden created a climate, what is it? The American Climate Corps. Yay. And a lot of people have some issues with this. This is not going well. The climate movement is not going well, right? The Sunrise Movement famously got all the way behind Joe Biden because we're in a terrible place where it's like, well, the guy who says climate change is real is better than the guy who says climate change is fake. Even though the guy that says climate change is real is doing exactly the same things as the guy that says climate change is fake. And somehow it's just better if you just mouth the words. Somehow that's better for everybody if you just mouth the words. And that's the position we're in, right? It's like we're in the position of like choosing the liar because you can see them coming instead of, right? People are debating about whether it's better to have an honest liar, right? Somebody who's going to actually tell the truth about, I don't know, or be obvious in what they're saying, about their policies. That's where I was trying to go with that, right? We're not doing anything for climate change, and that's that, right? We have people debating on whether it's better to have a an honest liar in office or just a liar in office. And that's the wrong conversation. It's completely wrong. How about not having liars in office? How about prosecuting people that lie? How about putting liars in jail? How about prosecuting people for fraud when they lie? How about, on a public stage? How about, right, etc. People prosecuting people for fraud for promising certain things in their campaign and then not doing those things. Right? How about the the bar be not being a liar instead of the bar being, well, you're an obvious liar, or you're a liar, you're a narcissistic liar. I don't know. You're an overt narcissist or a covert narcissist. Which is better? No, you don't want any of the narcissists. You want somebody who's trying, at least has some semblance of honesty or authenticity in what they're trying. We need to raise the bar up a little more in that, right? So, anyways, Nico House says basically Biden is creating another government agency that will cost Americans more money while achieving absolutely nothing and making sure to hand extremely lucrative positions to his friends in the energy industry. Ding, ding, ding. Sunrise Movement. President Biden announces he formally established the American Climate Corps. Yay! These ridiculously tiny supposed victories that people are like trying to point to as some kind of success, right? Like this is, again, this is not anything. Oh, we're gonna get young people, some green jobs, right? We won. We fixed the climate. There we go. But the comments on this are pretty great. The comments are pretty awesome. Anyways, it's going to put our generation to work in good paying jobs to stop the climate crisis. Okay. That's what we need, is some good paying jobs to stop the climate. It also very interesting. Sorry, I can't show you this, but what? I don't know. Anyways, I won't. It doesn't mean anything. Apparently, the Sunrise Movement marched over 666 miles from New Orleans to Houston. Why did you pick that number? I'm not one of those like it's satanic people. I don't really care about any of that stuff. I think it's gets somewhat ridiculous at some point. I mean, sure, yeah, maybe some people are satanic. Okay, fine, whatever. Show me the difference between somebody who's satanic and somebody who's religious doing terrible, right? A Catholic priest. And I'll just tell you that it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. I don't care. I don't really care. But why did they pick the number 666? I don't know. That's just weird to me. Because they said they marched over 660. So you could have said, did you march 668 miles? You could have just said 668. You could have said 700. Could have just picked any random number. You just picked any number out of all the numbers. But why did they pick that number? That's just weird to me. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever. But it is a weird number. Revolutionary Blackout Network comments, Joe Biden is the biggest eco-terrorist in human history after blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Right. So why don't we get some green jobs going by ending the military or bringing home a bunch of troops from around the world and, maybe put them to work planting trees, right? Or helping people grow gardens or, building homeless people homes. How about, right? There's all kinds of things that we could be spending our money on. That is not war, which is probably the biggest destructor of the planet. But it's fine. We got plenty of missions available for that. We've got plenty of money available for that. We've got, right? Yeah, there's no there's no bar to resources when it comes to war, and no bar to destruction when it comes to war. But but we're not supposed to talk about that. Let's keep going. There's Sabby Sabs. No, it's not a major victory until we end the wars. There's no win for the climate. Exactly. Professor Zanka says, where's the declaration of a climate emergency? Traitors, delete your account. There's nothing that is going to change at all. Right. Somebody else calls them sellouts. Yeah. again, this is a marketing campaign, basically. Look what we're doing for the climate. Yay. Yay for us. Right? It's just it's moving money around. It's slapping a Go Green sticker on a semi truck, on a diesel truck. It's all it is. Do I sound cynical? Sorry. I mean, you can't be fundamentally destructive on the planet and then, you know, create an agency and slap a name like the Climate Corps on it and go like, see, look how good we are. Look how great we are. Anyways. So that's, and again, to go back to our penchant for war and imperial escapades, that have nothing to do with saving the planet and everything to do with ruining it while we try to control every inch of it. Did you hear about this thing? They're moving a military base to Okinawa, like another one, the U.S. And the governor of Japan's Okinawa is saying that they don't want it there. They actually had a vote, and the people said, no, we don't want this military base. And they were like, we don't care. We're going to bring you a military base. Take that. It's climate friendly. Take that. No. The governor of Japan's Okinawa sought international backing at a UN session Monday for his opposition to a plan to relocate a U.S. military base within the southern prefecture. Governor Denny Tamaki's stance was immediately questioned by a Japanese government official at the venue in Geneva, a split highlighting the contention over the project based on an agreement first reached by Tokyo and Washington in the 1990s. I'm here today to ask the world to witness the situation in Okinawa, Tamaki told a session of the World Body's Human Rights Council, arguing that the concentration of the military bases there threatens peace. And wouldn't a peaceful planet be a planet where we could, work on not killing the planet, saving the planet? But we have to control the planet first. We can't save the planet until we control all the planet. We control everybody on it. We control, everything that everybody does, and and corporations own every square inch of it. Then, only then will we save the planet. In fact, I actually I forgot to bring that article. Is it J.P. Morgan? I think J.P. Morgan recently put out a statement supporting the privatization of nature in order to save it. So, basically saying like the corporation should own everything, then they can save everything if they own everything. Okay. I'm positive that that's how that's going to work out. Anyways, under the bilateral agreement, the Japanese government is proceeding with work to relocate the U.S. Marine Corps Air Station Futenma from a densely populated area in Ginowan to a new facility being built in a coastal area in Nago, both on Okinawa Island, despite staunch local opposition. Tamaki's predecessor, Takeshi Onaga, expressed his opposition to the Futenma base. And I guess they had a referendum in 2019 on this. Um, residents of the island apparently voted no. No, we don't want this. Voters on the Japanese island of Okinawa will vote this weekend in a referendum. This is from 2019. So they are expected to overwhelmingly reject it. I've just found this article from 2019, but the government has indicated it will ignore local sentiment and press ahead. Why did you even have the vote? What's the point? Critics say the facility will destroy the area's pristine marine environment and increase the risk of aircraft accidents. It is intended to replace the Marines' Futenma base. And most Okinawans want Futenma to close and the replacement base to be built elsewhere. And they're opposed to the base for many reasons, a few of which are Okinawa was the scene of one of the bloodiest battles in the Pacific War, and in 1995, there was an abduction and rape of a 12-year-old girl by 3 U.S. servicemen, so they're definitely pissed about that. The incident brought hundreds of thousands of Okinawans to the streets. So, military bases are always, super green, right? They always bring trees and leveling it. No, they don't. They never destroy the local habitat. Anyways, so that's how much we really care about the climate, which is none. That's how much Joe Biden cares about the climate, which is none. None. Not at all. But, be sure to vote out fascism next election. Absolutely. Vote, cast your vote against fascism. Because that'll help. If you want to cast your vote against fascism, maybe consider not voting for either one. Vote for a third party. I don't know. Protests, voting centers, protests, not having the ability to have a ranked choice voting or a third party vote or somebody else in the race or something. But it's a bit of a, it's the ratchet effect, right? The Democrats go more right, then we say, oh, we can't have these crazy lunatic fascist Republicans. You got to vote for us. But then you vote them in and they go more right. And you're like, what do we do? Well, if you vote for Republicans, it's going to get more fascist. There's no winning. Anyways. Yeah. And then you have, New York now has suddenly become New York, famously super blue state is now suddenly like super anti-immigrant. They're pissed about all the people coming to their state. In fact, the governor of New York is on CNN saying, "Don't come here, go away. We don't want you. We were a sanctuary state, but ha ha ha, just kidding. No, not really. We don't want you." Which is, on some levels it's real, right? People don't want an influx of people that need help and services, taking away services from people that, in the area don't get all the services that they think that they possibly might need anyways. So you have this strain on resources and budgets and whatnot. But this is also, in a way, a bit of a ratchet effect too, right? Democrats are like, no, we really, we actually don't want all this immigration, even though they're kind of allowing it and or supporting it, right? Like it's like problem reaction solution. Like, oh, we'll just, just let a bunch of people through the border, create this big old problem. And maybe they're acting like like Democrats act, which is like, oh, we can't do anything about this. We're completely helpless. What do we do? And then the vote goes back to Trump or Republicans, or only to continue the ratchet thing. It just keeps getting worse. There is no solution. Well, what do we do? We can't do anything about it. Oh, we don't have the support. We don't have the votes. What do we do? And then the Republicans get in, and they're like, our hands are tied. What do we do? But I don't know. You want to hear Kathy Hochul saying that we're no longer a sanctuary city. And this is, again, this is a Democratic governor in a very, very Democratic state, and people there are, tensions are high. And this is happening in other states as well. But it seems to be focused right now in New York. But she's saying,
we have to let the word out that when you come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. But the smarter thing is to apply for asylum before you leave your country. We have to let the word out that when you come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. But the smarter thing is...
she kind of sounds like Kamala Harris, right? Do not come. Do not come. Right? I mean, Does anybody know really what's happening? I mean, it seems like I see, I'm not there. My body is not there. I can't see with my own eyes, like, who's coming into the border, but like I see videos and news reports every single day of like, thousands of people at the border, like, hey, we're coming in. And, a lot of those videos are people being allowed into the thing. So what is, what's really happening? Like it seems to be a federal policy to let people in, and then you have people all over the country going like, where are we going to put these people? What are we doing? We don't want them here. What's going to happen? Like, this seems like a problem that's being created. Is it being created intentionally? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any policy in place to actually take care of people or doing, detention centers are overflowing. They're like busing people to California or other places and just letting them off the bus. New York as well. The Biden administration is doing that, not Greg Abbott, not some other people, not, if you don't have a plan to take care of people, then you can't logically let them in. And that's, I don't know. Again, as I've said before, like I prefer that people get taken care of. But it doesn't seem to be the intent here is to take care of people. The intent is to allow people to come in without actually having the resources or a plan in place to take care of them, and just creating like a situation that actually feeds into, a more right-wing Republican response, which is like, where's the wall? We got to keep people out. We got to get these people out of here. That's a winning argument for the right. So what is really going on here? Do the Democrats really care? Are they just doing the whole like, well, we don't know what to do. We can't do anything about it. Are they acting ineffectual again in order to just hand the next election to the Republicans or Trump? I don't know. And things just keep going to the right. They just keep on going to the right. And the Democrats seem to be playing along in this game. They seem to be helping out. They seem to be playing their role. Peter Zabinden, vote for Dr. Shiva. I'm not going to vote for Dr. Shiva. I think Dr. Shiva is an interesting guy. He doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. I'm sorry to tell you that. Unfortunately, I'm just being honest with you. You can't run a presidential campaign and call people, even though I want to. Like I'm just a lowly, podcaster. I can call people all kinds of fucktards and shitheads and all that kind of stuff. I can do that. But if you're running for president, you can't do that. You can't just run around saying bullshit like that. And like calling people names. And it's just not, but who knows? I don't know. Trump calls people all kinds of names and he got elected president. So maybe he's got a chance. I don't really see it. He's an interesting guy, though. I have to say, I've listened to Dr. Shiva more than a few times, and he's an interesting guy. And if anything, he does lend, more information. He puts more information out there, I guess, for people to understand about what's really going on in the world. So. Gene says, if I vote at all, it's the underdog I will vote for. That's an absurd reason to vote or not vote. I mean, vote for whoever you want to vote for. If Dr. Shiva is your vote, vote for Dr. Shiva. I don't think he has a chance. I honestly don't think he has a chance. He can't win is exactly what helps people win. All right, point taken. Point taken. Who can win? That's the question. Who's gonna go up against this mega uniparty that owns and controls everything? Who's going to go up against the corporate duopoly and stand a chance? Maybe it might be a better question. It certainly is funny. I have to say, watching Dr. Shiva is good for comic relief, though, because he calls like everyone else, RFK Jr. and everybody, just a bunch of, he just calls them all kinds of names. It's actually very entertaining. I'm just like, I don't know how people are just going to go, okay, guy, Man, it's late in the day already. If you enjoy this channel and you want to support this channel, really good ways to do it are paypal.me/Kevin Sandblum. All the links are in the description box. Venmo at Kevin Sandblum, Cash App at Red Llama Music, buymeacoffee.com/Black Bear News. You can also super chat me, super ray me, support me on Patreon. I don't know. Here we go. Let's talk about Russell Brand a little bit before we go. Russell Brand, the UK government sent a letter to TikTok saying, hey, are you guys monetizing his stuff? Because we think that you shouldn't, because we've decided he's guilty when he's just accused of things, which is not necessarily the way the law works, but they think it does now. The British government is now asking TikTok if Rusty Rockets is able to monetize his content on the platform. Wow. No overreach there. This was never about Russell Brand. This is a political pretext so governments across the world can coordinate with social media companies to acquire total control over dissenting voices on the internet. It would seem that way. That is, that's rich though, isn't it? They're like, hey, yeah, hi, hi. You're telling me to be careful? Yeah, you're right. I should be careful. Anyways, you're right. I should be careful. But they did. I mean, they did. Rumble says no, we're not going to, so I guess I'm not on Rumble, but I guess if you like Rumble and he is on Rumble, they're saying, no, we're not going to. They got a letter from the UK Parliament as well, and they said, no, you don't find people guilty due to accusations, and which is correct. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point, Poppy. So check it out. We got like 8 minutes left. I'm going to leave YouTube, and we're going to go talk on Rockfin a little more about this. Sorry, YouTubers. But, he hasn't had a show since this came out. Wow. All right. Yeah, we're going to go over to Rockfin, and I'm going to play a couple more videos before we leave. Okay. All right. YouTubers, we'll see you tomorrow, and peace out.